Hello and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. Today we're going to be making a Borg Cube. Let's do it. Awesome. All right, well, thanks again for joining me today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already on the YouTube channel. And check out the Patreon if you haven't already. They've got a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of extra things. All the live streams go up there. So if you ever want to watch like the full uncut version of any of the videos that I've done, I try and do every video is always a live stream first. All right, so now as a special treat today, we're going to be making a Borg Cube. Everyone in chat's voted on it. This is the pick. We're going to be making it. So that means, good news, everyone, the default cube gets to live today. Very exciting. Just as a little fun tidbit today, I've hidden an Easter egg in my live feed video. So see if you can find the Easter egg. A Borg Cube has got a lot of intricate sort of greeble-y faces. You know, if you're not familiar with the term greeble, it's basically, it's a term from when they would make the models for like, Star Wars and stuff. They get all these little model pieces, random model pieces, and just glue them on to get really weird, intricate, crazy stuff. We'll start with the material, and then we might build up on top of that with some greeble fun. So just pick a nice angle, something like this. We got to look at, you really can't show a Borg Cube from above. You got to be low angle. I mean, that's the only way to do it. I'm going to grab my cube. I'm going to open up the side here, and we're going to go to shader editor. First thing we need to do is get some like sci-fi plating going on. So, a lot of cool ways to do that. We're going to grab two Voronais. It's the main way to do it. I actually haven't found any other ways of doing it. There might be another way of doing it, but this is the standard that I use at least. Texture coordinate. Now, you may have noticed at this point that if you've watched a lot of my stuff, I never, ever, ever, ever activate Node Wrangler, which is the included plugin or add-on that Blender has in it. To help speed this workflow up. The honest truth is I've never used it, and I just haven't taken the time to learn it. So that's why I never turn it on. So everyone always tells me to use it, and I've yet to just do it. I hope you don't mind. All right, let's switch to rendered view. The distance. We'll start with distance. I'll just stick it into the emission so we can see it, and I'll go ahead and grab a color ramp. There we go. All right, so what we need to do is turn down our randomness on, actually we'll keep it up on the second one for now. And so when it starts off, whenever you start off with this setup with the two Voronais, so you go texture coordinate, pumped into a mapping node. This is just to give you options. And this is also just to give you options. So technically we don't need these because they're not doing anything for us right now because the default placement for a procedural texture is always generated, right? And then we got these two Voronais. The first one, we're telling it, we're piping the vector in, and usually we just take, one of these outputs, the distance, color, or position, and we put that into a color ramp to control the look. But doing this extra little step of piping the distance value of this Voronai texture into this one means that this one's using this, basically this texture as its placement on the space of the cube, which is kind of a hard thing to wrap your head around, but it's really cool effect. You can get some really neat stuff out of this. So what we're going to do is switch it off Euclidean, and we're going to go to Manhattan to start with. And you can see we already get nice little blocky shapes. So you can play with both of these being Manhattan. You get different results from all of these, and you can just really look around and see what what's going to be the most fun. And we need to get, let's see, there's definitely a lot of intricate detail in these guys. All right, now it's on an angle, right? So we need to fix that. We need to shift the angle so they can be horizontal. So that's where we've got the mapping node, because that gives us the ability to control how it's placed. So we can rotate it. So let's rotate it. Let's figure out which angle we want to rotate on. Usually they follow the XYZ coordinates of your scene. So if I rotate on the X, you can see that it's actually doing it. But you can also see that the origin is not necessarily the center of this face. It's like off down here somewhere. Like if I was to look at this and go straight into side view, this was the view we were looking at. You can see it's rotating kind of off this way. And if I find the point where they're pretty straight, you can see we're awfully close to 45 degrees. So I'll just type in 45 because that's actually accurate. That's going to give us that straight line. But now I got to check and see, does it happen all around on every side? So, oh, wait, no, it doesn't. That's interesting. That's actually pretty cool, but it's not quite Borg Cube, right? So we need to have a different approach. We probably need to do some UV unwrapping to really get this right. We could play around with object. That might give it to us. Let's have a look. No, it's still going to do that where it rotates them in different ways. So yeah, let's go ahead and UV unwrap this cube. So I'll switch back to actually we're going to use UV. So we'll select. So I'll go in edit mode, hit A to select all. And then I can switch this over to the UV editor. You can see it's already laid out for us, actually. That's one of the nice things about using the default shapes. If you use a default cube, it's going to already have the UVs laid out for you in this way. This is really the best way to lay out a cube. So we don't have to do anything. We don't have to like change any of that stuff. So we can leave it. But I just wanted to show you that it's there. It's ready to go. That's the UVs. So now we can come over to the shader editor and I can just grab the UV and pipe that into texture. Now it's going to look really different, but what we're going to have now is the flexibility to kind of really position this thing the way we want. I'm going to turn this back to 0. And now let's have a look at what happens and see if we can get a result from any of these. It's going to be what we want. All right, so yeah, there we go. So now it's the Z that's rotating them. You can see that they're all moving correctly. If I kind of get it straight-ish, we'll see if we're close to, yep, we're close to 45. So that tells me that 45 is what we need. So I'll smack that one into 45. And now we've got the correct layout for all of our cube faces. All right, so let's increase our scale. Shrink this guy down. And I'll just play with this second one to really get, you know, what we want. All right, so let's consult our images here. I just want to see if I like the density of this. I do actually. I think it's pretty nice. Let's see. I'm going to make these a little bit more extreme. Let's take this and we're going to pipe this into the bump. Okay, so I'm going to create a bump map. And I'll take our base color down and I'll turn up our specular. I might turn down our roughness so we can see the shapes. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on screen space reflections, bloom, and that should be enough. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool. It's a good start. Now, Borg cubes there's a variation in the color of the surface stuff and the color of the darker stuff. So if I duplicate this color ramp and we pipe the distance in, so what we're doing is we're duplicating the look of our bump map to base on our texture, right? So let's take this and I'll pipe this into the base. Actually, before I pipe that into the base color, I'm going to grab the color that I've picked already. And then this one, I'm going to base it on kind of what the reference image is. It's kind of a lighter gray on the surface. So let's switch to base color like this. And I might brighten this up a bit. And let's see, is that going to give us what we want? Kind of. It's also good to make our world black and put some stars in it. Let's do that real quick. Switch over to world. All right, let's go for noise, color ramp. And probably just need that. That's enough for us. Bring that down. Pull that scale way up. 500 maybe. Do this. Turn up our strength. Now let's think about our light source. I'll create a sun lamp. I'll rotate it on the Y and on the Z. Might use that as my fill lamp. And I'll bring this one around on the Z and on the Y. And we should probably also do a little bit of volumetrics because why not, right? Let's see, volume, scatter. Da, da, da. Right, sun. Maybe a noise. Sorry, I just realized I went super quiet there. Trying to make a Borg cube. What are we doing? Making noise and fog in space. Fog in space. Wait, man. Do we do it like something like this? Just wanted to get a little bit of like, you know, a little bit of space mist, you know? All right, let's go back to our shader. Back to object mode. Click on our Borg Cube. All right, so, all right, let's put some of this glowy Borg stuff into it. Also bring that down a touch. So let's duplicate this one more time. I'll plug the distance in there. And then what we'll do is where it's dark, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get that kind of, you know, nasty Borg green like this. And I'll pipe this into the emission. And then what we'll do is we'll drag it down, make this second one black so it's not emitting. And I'll just see if I can't find us just some cool little spots. Now I might want to break this up a little more. I feel like there wouldn't be this much going on. So I'll duplicate this. I'll grab this as the vector and then I'll grab a mix RGB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take this secondary Voronoi texture and I'm going to multiply it with this one here, which is a new one. Oops. And I'm going to use this one to cut out sections of the first one, which isn't happening. Why is it not happening? Let's clamp it. Let's have a look at what this is looking like, because that's not what I was expecting. Oh, I think we probably just need a color ramp in between these two and darken this up. You see how handy it is to pipe into the emission, because you can then really pinpoint what you're looking at and why it's not doing quite what you wanted it to do. So I'm just going to change around the settings a little bit. There we go. So now we've got sections here that are going to be white, and those sections are going to actually, those sections will all be glowy, so it's not quite doing what I want it to do. So what I want it to do, let me think about this. I want to take this and then multiply it with this so that all I get are these little inner bits, any of this white. So I think the reason why it's like that is if I just have a look at this, is it, all this is quite bright? Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is I'll bring this back over into the emission, and I just need a separate color ramp right here. So I'll grab these, move these out of the way, and we'll grab this other color ramp and we'll just pipe that into there. So, and now I'll make this black. Now you can see we're just getting these certain bits here. Like that. Now I can use this as the emission. See how that looks. Flip these around. And yeah. Now I can use the scale of this one to determine how much of these we want. And that can determine how much we turn down or turn on. So I'll just bring this scale up like this and try and find that sweet spot where we get the right amount of random glowy green. Now we need to turn it up, right? So we get a little bit of bloom. All right, so I'm going to grab a multiply node, or sorry, math node. And we're going to math this thing. So we're going to switch this there. We're going to go to multiply. And we're going to just turn this right up. Actually, that's right. We learned this last time. So when you do it like this, you're taking a color, which is 3 numbers. You're sending it through here. You can see this yellow dot means it's a value with 3 numbers. And it's coming into the purple dot's also a value with multiple. It can be multiple numbers because color can have alpha as well. Well, alpha is separated out, so no, that's just 3. Anyways, the gray dots are single number values. So we've crunched it down to a single number, and then we're multiplying it. That's why we're getting white, right? Because it's just getting us the same number for R, G, and B. So if we wanted to actually do it separately, we should do it with the color, but we can actually just go mix RGB, and we can go multiply, and we can take that, and I think we can do it by itself. Is that, I think that'll do it. Let's see. Yeah. And then what I can do is I can, although we can't turn them up anymore, can we? I could just change my vibrancy to 5. That's gonna, yeah, that'll be enough. So I'll just find the right spot. There we go, that's pretty good. And now we can drag this down. There we go. It's probably a little too much. I may not even need the multiply. That looks pretty good as itself. So I think I'll just pipe that in to the emission directly. All right, cool. So now we've got glowy green bits. We've got lots of sort of greebly surface stuff. Let's see. Oh, the factor go above 1. Oh, okay, cool. That's helpful, McLenner. I should have missed McLenner. That's helpful. I could, yeah. Well, same thing. All right, so let's keep going. We can't stop here. We've got to put some. Let's try putting some greeble particles on this thing. I've been wanting to try that out anyway. So let's give it a whirl. Also, we should probably increase the roughness of this. Let's play with the material properties. Oh, it's metal. Yeah, we got to turn the metallic way up. And that's pretty good. Leave all that. I'm not super happy with our lights at the moment. So I'm just going to rotate those around until we get a better looking shot. All right, let's go and make some greebles real quick. And we'll just see what it looks like. We'll see if we can get a cool effect. Let me see, what are they're kind of like a lattice looking thing, aren't they? So let's go to top down view. I'm gonna hit Shift A, I'm gonna create a plane. I'm just gonna grab it over here on the X, switch to shaded mode, and let's scale it down. And let's just grab these dudes. And what do I wanna do? Let's grab this on the X, pull this back here. All right, and I'm just gonna Control R to make some loop cuts, and then grab those guys and extrude them, grab them on the X, bring them out. I'm just kind of looking for just some shapes that will work well when mixed together. So I'm gonna just create a couple of random bits. Like this. I'm using Control R to create those loop cuts. So let's grab this and extrude it, grab it on the Z, and then let's bevel, Control B, drag out, bring that down. So there we go, that's kind of cool. And now let's Shift D to duplicate that, grab them on the X, and let's actually just delete. Let's delete all the top faces for that. So I'm going to switch to transparent mode and go to the front here, and I will box select all those and hit X to delete those vertices, and we're back to the base again. And then what we could do is go into edit mode and change some of these up. So I can delete these guys. There we go. So now we got 2 of these. Let's just start with these 2 and see what things are looking like. Let's go ahead. Let's apply the same material to them. See how that material plays out on these guys. Oh, that's right. We need to unwrap their UVs if we're going to do that. So I'm going to hit all those, and actually I'll just go to the top. I'll go UV project from view, and this one as well. select all, go to the top view, go UV, project from view. That'll give me a perfect, you know, match for how it looks here. And I can like come into here and scale this up or shrink it down depending on how big I want these things to be on these guys. So I might just do something like that. We might change that. I don't know if that's going to be the right thing, but anyways, so let's call this greeble 1. How do you spell greeble? Greeble 2. And we'll just start with those guys and just see what kind of effect we end up with. So default cube, just so we remember that we didn't delete him. All right, let's try particle system. Hit the plus sign to create a new one. And we're going to emit from, yeah, faces is good, jitter's good, random order is good. It's all nice. We're going to turn off physics. So no physics. And we're going to emit everything. Frame start is going to be 0. Frame end is going to be 1. I think we could actually do 0 for both of those, and it does the same effect. We'll turn this right up to maybe 2000. 2000. And then we're going to come over here to the render setting and then select collection. Then we're going to take our 2 greebles and we're going to put them into a new collection called the greeble collection. Greeble collection. All right. Now, let's go to default cube and we're going to select the greeble collection. And now let's have a look at the scale. We'll scale them up. And I'm having particle city flashbacks. How about you guys? Object rotation maybe? Oh, that's kind of cool. Having things stick out. I hadn't planned on that, but well, that's not really Borg Cube, is it? They don't really stick out, do they? What we can do is just come over here to these guys and can rotate, go into edit mode and then rotate on, let's like the X maybe. No. Actually, I think probably the better way, let's go to rotation, turn it on, and just play with these. Normal tangent maybe. We need to see what they're doing, kind of get the effect, you know, kind of visualize it. Y90. Maybe we need to use hair. Do we need to use hair? Or has that actually done it, but they're just facing the wrong way? I think that one did it, but they're facing out correctly. Yeah, that's good. And there, and there. Okay, so that's what we needed. So we need to get it like that. So rotate Y 90. Grab that one, drop it into the collection. Yeah, cool. And we're just going to get these issues along the edges. So we can fix that. But first, I want to take my cube and I'm going to turn down the number of these guys. So we don't need like absolutely like ridiculous amounts of them. And I'm going to take my material for these guys and I'm going to switch it over to here. And I'm going to go to my material shader editor and I'm going to get rid of the emission on this shader and maybe change the metallic values so they stand out a little bit more. And then come over to my cube and go back to here and we're going to take the scale and drop them down. And maybe increase the number. And then just tweak these values a little bit. The spin at. Now we could make a lot more greebles, right? We could just, you know, create a bunch of variations on these guys. So we get just tons of them. So that's probably worth doing first. So if I just shift D and then rotate on the X, as long as I keep them in that, you know, basic angle, rotate X 90, you can see that we're going to get, you know, they're all still correctly aligned on the faces. Might take this and let's go to the size again. I feel like they could be a little bit bigger. So let's pump them up some. I also feel like we could maybe make them a little bit bigger. Like if we go into edit mode here and come into the side, double tap A, make sure we're in transparent mode. Make sure transparent mode is selected so you can actually select all the vertices. And yeah, bring that back. There we go. Go into here, double tap A, select to deselect all, grab on the X, grab that. And I'm going to turn off snapping so there is a little variation in height between these. So grab all the front ones, grab X right up, grab X. There we go. Bingo, bingo, bingo. All right, now let's have a look at how that's doing for us. Yeah, it's a little more interesting. Now you can see that there's the variation, in all of them. I do feel like we need to take these guys and change the scale a little bit for them. So I might just grab a value node here and pipe this into the scale of my mapping node. And that will allow me to change the universal scale of the texture that I've got on all my greebles at once. And there we go. And then maybe we should take that white bit, and I feel like it's not quite working. Let's also plug this back into the emission just to see. I'm just curious what it's going to do. Yeah, I think that's a bit overkill. Let's turn that off. So let's go to our base color, and I want to change this white color. It's not quite working for me. Bring it down a bit, but I'm going to bring the black up some too. Try reversing it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, hair might have been a better option. You're right, 4K. But we got it. We got it there. All right, now to keep them from sticking off the edge, there's a lot of things we could do. One, we could just literally convert this into mesh and then just move the vertices or delete all the extraneous vertices. We could also just, it may not be that big of a deal. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's have a look at let's have a look at the image. All right, I'll get our camera view up. So there's our full image. I might just tweak our lights a little bit so we can see it well. It's nice with these greebles too. We'll get some shadowing. Go for that red dwarf idea. Let's add I'm going to add a point light into this. I should have kept the default point light. And I'll just put this off to the side. I'm just trying to help to define it a bit better. Playing with the radius. Go for a bluish kind of color maybe. Cram that up to 1,000. Good. Let's have a look at maybe increasing the density and then bringing down the brightness. There you go. It's a Borg Cube on a dune planet. That's pretty cool, actually. Now I can take that point light and just pop him just off frame a little bit. Well, that's kind of cool, doing it right above it, actually. That looks nice. We do another one down here and change the color to the red-orange glow. Yeah, I think red's looking cooler. Nice. Now, one little thing that we haven't really done yet is save. Thanks again for watching. Thanks so much for joining in. Had a lot of fun today. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next tutorial. See ya.